Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JZ Courtside, coming at y'all today on Wednesday 26th. That was just worded absolutely horrible. It's Wednesday. It also just so happens to be November 26th. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal start to their day, and hopefully you are excited for Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Today, we have a very, very fun podcast. I'm going to be talking about two of the games from last night. I'm not really going to dive too deep into the games themselves because there were blowouts, but we will be talking about the trending storylines from those games. Not just that, I also want to do a fun, festive segment called "What Are You Thankful For?" In the what's it called? In the tradition of Thanksgiving, you go around the table and you share something that you're thankful for. So I'm going to be doing that same thing except NBA related. Okay, so like I said, we're going to break down two games and then we're going to move on to what are you thankful for. And some of them are really in depth. You know, they're going to make you think. They're going to make you use your brain juice, your brain power to get it rolling. All right. So we are going to start with, well, before we do that, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. YouTube viewers, TikTok viewers, Twitch viewers, you ain't got to do nothing except look handsome and talk with me once in a while. And then TikTok and YouTube, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Let's get this John started with the Los Angeles Lakers smoking the LA Clippers. Now, I only stayed up for the first half of this game. Part of the reason why I didn't get much sleep last night, because these games start at 11 p.m. Like the fact that my UK viewers, my UK audience can wake up and just watch this game is egregious. I am not a fan of the coast to coast days on NBC and Peacock whatsoever. There is no reason a basketball game should be starting at 11 o'clock Eastern. Sorry, not sorry. It should not be a thing. Okay. Well, I can tell you one thing immediately. Luka freaking Doncic, I think he hit like 5 threes in the first quarter. He increased his point per game average last night to 35.2 points. Luka was just on fire. In case you guys don't know how good the three-headed monster is for this team, let me just explain to you how good this team truly is as far as their top three. Luka Doncic, 43 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds. He shot 50% from the field, 7 for 12 from 3. Austin Reeves, their new number 2, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 11 for 16 from the field. And then, oh yeah, they also have LeBron James, who dropped 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. His iconic stat line, 9 for 15 from the field. I mean, just look at that. If your top 3 are bringing you production like that without your number 4 in the game in DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes having a serviceable game, didn't look great. He had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Rui Hachimura, good start. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 for 9 from the field. I mean, this is just a sight to see. If your third option is dropping 25 points, you're not going to lose any games. You are just not going to lose any. And then off the bench, you got energy spark plug guys like Marcus Smart, 7 points. Jake LaRavia, bad game, but he was only 2 for 2, 4 points. Maxi Kleber, he didn't look that good, but he won't be playing much anyways. Just waiting until DeAndre Ayton is back. And this is all without DeAndre Ayton, Jared Vanderbilt. The Los Angeles Lakers are looking scary. Scary. Because nobody else had a good game whatsoever. Nobody else did. It was just the three-headed monster. And that's all they needed against the LA Clippers, because my God, if there's a team that I feel for most, it's probably the LA Clippers. 19 points, horrible shooting from Kawhi. 18 points, good shooting from John Collins. 10 points from Ivica Zubac on horrible shooting. James Harden, one of those nights, 29 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, not efficient shooting. Chris Dunn had, honestly, his best game of the season, 19 points, 8 for 13. And then off the bench, I mean, Nick Batum, Kobe Brown, like this just, it's just not it. It is just not it. So when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers and you see how truly impressive that this this is, it's just the start. Because we haven't seen these three, especially Austin Reeves. I'd like to highlight Austin Reeves here and just give him his flowers first and foremost, because we know what Luka Doncic does. We know what LeBron does at age 40, about to be 41. We know what they do. Austin Reeves has blown all of his expectations out the water. And I think we need to start having conversations about where Austin Reeves is going to rank in the best undrafted players of all time. I think he's already top 5. I can't tell you off the top of my head who the top 5 truly are, but I can tell you who's number 1. Big Ben Wallace. Plain and simple. I mean, Ben Wallace is the greatest. He's the only undrafted player in the Hall of Fame. Could we potentially see Austin Reeves one day reach that pinnacle? Offensively right now, it looks like it. Austin Reeves is playing incredibly well. He's averaging 29 points per game right now this season. It's unbelievable. You have Luka averaging 35, Austin Reeves averaging 29, and then they just got LeBron James. You are adding LeBron James into the mix? Are we serious here? I think people at the beginning of this year, and I called it before the basketball season even started, I said, and I quote, I think people are starting to underrate the Los Angeles Lakers because they saw the pickups Denver got. They saw Oklahoma just stay the same and improve and lock in their guys. They believe Anthony Edwards is going to have a huge leap. I think people were underrating the Los Angeles Lakers. Pardon me. And I know I see a lot of the comments in the TikTok stream. Guys, be sure to keep dropping likes over there. Helps us a lot. I would like to just respond to the comment that I see all the time. It's early in the season. I don't care. You want me to just not talk about basketball until the playoffs? Is that what we want to do? I am reacting accordingly to what we're seeing in the NBA right now. So for anybody that says it's early in the season, okay, let me just not do podcasts until the playoffs. Then I think that's the move that we need to do moving forward. We're talking about NBA. We're going to talk about daily podcasts because that's what we're doing around here, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I know people want my thoughts on the Celtics Pistons tonight. We'll probably say them at the end of this podcast. All right. So I'd like to save some of the conversation I have about the Los Angeles Lakers. But before we do move on, I want to highlight something very important about the Lakers that's honestly surprising according to their record, right? Because we see the Lakers, they're tied for the number 2 spot right now in the West. They're 13-4. But when you look at their actual statistics, you're sort of surprised that they have as good as a record as they do. Let me explain. They are middle of the pack at points scored. They're allowing the average points scored against them. Rebounding, they are bottom 3 in the league. And then they are allowing the second most rebounds per game. Part of the reason is because they're missing DeAndre Ayton for this a little bit of an extended stretch. They're one of the worst rebounding teams, middle of the pack in scoring. They're middle of the pack, below average in assists. They're 7th in steals. They're literally the worst team at getting blocks. They are the worst. They shoot the least amount of times in the entire NBA, but they have the number 1 field goal percentage. They're the 30th in shots attempted, but first in field goal percentage. Not just that, they are 30th in 3-pointers made and 26 attempted. So when you look at the statistics of the Los Angeles Lakers, it is somewhat surprising to see them as good as they are. Truly, it is. Because when you see this team and you look at all these analytics and you look at all the stats, how are they this good? Yet their deep statistics are not. Well, things that help them is they shoot the second most free throws in the entire league, and they are second in true shooting. So they're efficient. And that's the big key about the Los Angeles Lakers. It's that Luka, any shot he takes is a good shot. Any shot Austin Reeves takes, it's a good shot. Any shot LeBron James takes, it's going to be a good shot. And you bet your biscuits that any shot Rui Hachimura is going to take and DeAndre Ayton are going to be good shots. In case most of you guys don't know, Rui Hachimura is having his most efficient year of his NBA career so far. Not just his most efficient, he is literally the most efficient shooter in the entire NBA right now with his minimum amount of shots taken this season. So when you look across this entire roster, this three-headed monster, sure, we know it's good. But it's everybody else right now that's going to allow this team to surpass their expectations and compete for, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm talking about the Lakers later on in this episode. So I don't want to talk about whether, contending. I don't want to do all that. I see one comment in the Twitch stream from my baby Dark. He said, I don't know. Bron's been forcing a lot since his return, but probably just for reps. LeBron right now he's 40 years old. He's about to turn 41, and he shot 9 for 15 from the field last night. If that's forcing it, then Bron, keep forcing it, my boy. Keep forcing it. I think the biggest issue with the Los Angeles Lakers that I don't want to talk about right this second. I want to talk about it later. As far as, but I'm just going to tease it so that you guys stick around so that we can talk about the Lakers later on. The issue with the Los Angeles Lakers and why the Denver Nuggets are still my favorite to come out of the West, it's quite simple. It's not something that you have to ponder about. It's not something that you're going to have to stress out about unless you're a Lakers fan. They have no defense. They have no defense, like at all. Like it's bad. They don't get rebounds. They don't defend. So on a team that plays no defense, I'm not sure I can truly say confidently that they're going to come out of the West. Now, obviously, the favorite on FanDuel, on DraftKings, on everywhere, the all-time favorite to win it all, as we know, are the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, you would say I'm silly for saying that the Nuggets are going to win, but I think the Nuggets have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. And I think last year, had Aaron Gordon not been hurt and out, I've said this 100,000 times, and Michael Porter Jr. wasn't hurt and out, I think the Denver Nuggets would have won. They lost in 7. So to see the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think it won't surprise me if they win. It won't surprise me whatsoever if they win. But I think my favorite to come out of the West is the Denver Nuggets. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. I'd like to give a special shout out to all the homies who are coming through to the Twitch stream from the TikTok. My baby Joey, good morning, fam. Good to see you. Anthony, my man, he said this is the Lakers at their peak, and they're still not better than OKC or Denver right now. This is not the Lakers at their peak. They just obtained LeBron James back. They just got LeBron back. They don't have DeAndre Ayton. They don't have Vanderbilt. This is not the Lakers at their peak. Luka Doncic is still getting in shape. LeBron James is nowhere near in shape. This is not the Lakers at their best. But the issue is the Thunder at their best is nowhere even near. Like it's so far like out of the realm of possibilities for the Lakers to understand that, yeah, the Nuggets aren't at their best. The Thunder aren't at their best. The Lakers aren't at their best. No team right now in the NBA is at their best except for maybe one team, the Sacramento Kings, and that's because their best is not really good enough. Let's move on to our next game that I wanted to not really break down because there's not a whole lot to say, but there are a couple highlights that I wanted to talk about. And if you are in the Twitch stream, ladies and gents, there are lower thirds at the bottom of the screen right now. So like I have names of each segment. So like if you guys want to, I'm sure TikTok, YouTube, you guys are familiar with like Sports Center, ESPN, all that jazz. We have all those things popping up on the screen whenever we move on from segment to segment to segment, not just this little caption morning NBA talk show. Once again, we do all of these episodes Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So I appreciate all 150 of y'all that are watching in the TikTok and the 20 of y'all in the YouTube. So if you guys do want to actually interact with me and somewhat make this a group episode, be sure to click the link in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. That's where my like predominant community is, where they talk to me and I respond. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. It's the Orlando Magic absolutely embarrassing Philadelphia in Philadelphia. I'm going to say something again that is going to get Magic fans upset. I've been preaching this to the heavens since last season. The Orlando Magic are now 6. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. Do you know why they've won 6 of their last 8 games? It's because they're missing Paolo Banchero. I've been preaching this to the heavens that I don't think that they should trade Paolo Banchero Because I don't think that you want to be the team to trade a player with that much potential. The main reason the Magic are winning are not because of Jet Howard, not because of Jace Richardson, not because of Desmond Bane, not because of Franz Wagner. It's because of the team as a whole. I'm going to say something, and for my Magic fans out there, please do not scream at me. Just listen. And if you disagree at the end of my statement, that's the great thing about this world. We can all have our own opinions. The Orlando Magic lack at a half-court offense. They've always sucked in a half-court offense for during the Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero era. Now let me explain. Paulo Banchero, the way he plays is with the ball in his hands. Okay? So when Paulo Banchero is on the court for the Orlando Magic, where is he? He's either in the corner, not doing anything, or he's at the top of the key with the ball in his hands. Now, when the ball's in his hands, he's either going to drive to the hoop and kick it out, or he's going to pull up for three, brick it, because it has no chance of going in. He's going to do that stupid midi that he loves taking, that in case you do not know, Paulo Banchero is shooting the worst percentage in the entire NBA right now from mid-range, and yet it's his second most taken shot in the entire season. Or he finally uses his size and barrels to the rim, and nobody can stop him because he's 6'11", 260. Okay, so let's say Franz Wagner or Desmond Bane or Jalen Suggs or Anthony Black have the ball at the top of the key. Where is Paulo Banchero at this time? He's in the corner. Now, is Anthony Black, Franz Wagner, Desmond Bane, or Jalen Suggs going to hit Paulo in the corner? Probably not. And if they do, he's not going to make that shot. Okay? Paulo Banchero is too prideful to sit in the dunker spot, like an Asar Thompson, like an Amen Thompson, like a PJ Washington, like a Derrick Jones Jr. He's too prideful to sit in the dunker spot, so he's going to be in one of the corners, or he's going to be at the top of the key with the ball. There's a reason why the Miami Heat's offense has worked so well. It's because they haven't had Tyler Hero, and now they got to reincorporate Tyler Hero in there. There's some players in this NBA that you just have to admit that they are ball stoppers. They need the ball in their hands. If they don't have the ball in their hands, then they're not going to do anything of any substance. Paulo Banchero is one of those players right now at his current time in the NBA. I'm not saying he can't develop into something greater, but right now, Paulo Banchero is truly a ball stopper that doesn't make that extra pass. And I'm a fan of what the Magic are doing right now. I love defense. I'm a Pistons fan. I love defense. Paulo Banchero does not do anything of substance on the NBA court. He's changed his shot diet, yes, TikTok, but for the wrong reasons. He's attempting the most mid-range shots of his entire NBA career right now. And I'm just going to say this one more time so everybody can hear me. He is shooting the absolute worst in the NBA from that mid-range shot right now. He's a career 31-point shooter from deep. It's not looking good with Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner on the court. They're both ball-dominant players. I am not bashing Paulo Banchero whatsoever. What I'm saying is something needs to change. Something, when Paulo and Franz are on the court, needs to change. Because in my opinion, and I've said this last season, so you guys know I'm not new to saying this, Paulo Banchero is not the best player on this team. He's the most hyped, but he's not the best player on this team. There's no 1 and 2. Right? There's no 1A, 1B. Franz Wagner is the 1. Paulo Banchero is the 2. Franz may not pass as much as Paulo Banchero, and that's because he gets doubled no matter what when he's on the perimeter. I hope Paulo figures it out because I love the rivalry that Detroit and Orlando has. I love the rivalry that Cade and Paulo have. Two up-and-coming players. They always battle it out. Now, me personally, Jalen Suggs is my favorite player on the Orlando Magic. He's my favorite player. He's a player that, like, when I rate players, I think that he's exactly what a team like Detroit could use, right? So I want to reiterate this topic one more time for everybody that's watching or listening. There was this comparison that goes around talking about how, hey, the Boston Celtics got it done. They got it done. They had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They got it done. So can Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For two people, I'll say this. I've been watching the NBA for a long time, right? And to see what the Boston Celtics did, it was very different. So at the start of the season, the Orlando Magic started 1-4. In those 5 games, you know what was the offense? The offense was this, and please pay attention because I'm only going to do this once. Paolo has the ball at the top of the key. My turn. Make or miss. Okay. Franz Wagner has the ball. My turn. Make or miss. Next, Desmond Bane. My turn. And that was their offense. That's not their offense now. If you guys watched, even just last night, they are swinging the ball. They are making the extra pass. They are playing as a team, just like how the Boston Celtics did with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They both have different play styles. Yes, they're both shot creators, but they're both good ball swingers. They make that extra pass. Last night, ladies and gentlemen, the Orlando Magic had 38 assists. I don't know if you heard me. 38 assists. I have personally never watched an NBA basketball game in my entire life that I can remember seeing 38 assists. Let's go back to a game with Paolo Banchero in a win. So I'm not being unfair. In a win. Let's go look at a Paolo Banchero game with a win. Let's just make sure that he was playing 28 points. Let's just go look. 26, 12 less assists. Now, let's look at a loss. For example, Detroit. They lost by, 19. We killed them like that. Let's go look at their assists in this game. 22, ladies and gentlemen. 22. So when I tell you that their offense flows better without Paolo on the court, this isn't me saying, trade Paolo, he's ass. No, I'm a legitimate watcher. I watch games objectively, right? What I'm trying to explain to you is that Paolo is an elite talent. He's a great talent in the NBA, and I think he's only going to get better. But right now, unfortunately, he's a ball stopper and he's a glorified Josh Smith. And that's just a way to be rude about it. That's if I want to be rude, and I don't want to be rude at all. There was an altercation as well that happened in this game with Andre Drummond and what's his name? Wendell Carter. That's okay if you think I'm wrong. That's more than fine. I appreciate all the follows on TikTok. I appreciate all the follows on YouTube. I appreciate all the follows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Twitch. I want to say special shout out to everybody that is leaving the TikTok, leaving the YouTube, and coming through to the Twitch stream to have engaging basketball conversations with us. If you guys do go to the Twitch, you will get a shout out from your boy. All right. So let's talk real quick about the altercation last night with Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond, I am very familiar with your game. I watched you play and not improve at anything for 8 years in Detroit, right? I watched you. I know you. I hung out with you more than a few times. In case you guys don't know, I was Vine famous way back in the day. I had an account called Joe and Mike where we were most known for the zip cams. We had like zip ties where we tied people's pants to their desks and they'd get up and fall and blah, blah, blah. And Andre Drummond was in Detroit at that time. Andre Drummond was 19. I was 15. So we were like pretty close in age, right? And Andre Drummond and I hung out a few times. We went up, we did some meetups at the mall with a couple other creators back in the day, right? Andre Drummond, I'm very familiar with you. I know you. You are one of the softest NBA players in the league, especially for being a 6'10" player. So the fact that you're going and you're getting in a stance like this to scrap with Wendell Carter, listen, I know you, Andre. I know you, bro. Wendell Carter, had he really wanted to fight, would have laid your ass out. Okay? Respectfully. So to see Andre Drummond do that and then after the game say, yeah, man, we were getting killed. We were getting killed. I just needed to light a fire under the team. Brother, you lost by 40 points. The Magic were on a 25 to nothing run. After you did that, they continued to go on another 10-0 run. Good gesture, wrong mouth, because Andre Drummond is not that kind of guy. He's a nice guy, and there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. This website is StatMuse for anybody that's watching on the TikTok asking. I would like to move on. I don't really know what more I could say about the Orlando Magic. I feel like I say the same things every time I talk about them because they are genuinely they're a good basketball team, and they really are starting to click right now. My biggest issue is Paolo Banchero. I don't think that in a 7-game series, Paolo Banchero can continue. It's just the Orlando Magic right now are playing incredibly well, and it's because they are moving the ball. I'm not saying it's because of Paolo's fault, all of that. I'm saying they need to figure out how to keep that ball swinging when Paolo Banchero is on the court. I see a lot of people talking about go talk about this team, go talk about this team. Guys, we've been talking about every NBA team all of these weeks, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'd like to give a special shout out to the homie Baby Otters to coming through the Twitch stream. So again, special shout out to everybody that's leaving the TikTok, leaving the YouTube, and going to the Twitch stream. I appreciate all the follows, Zoe, and stream clips. I wish you guys would follow the Twitch stream and come hang out, come talk ball with us. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. I see a question in the Twitch chat coming from my man, Anthony. He said, who would you trade Paolo for to make the Magic a legit contender? I'm not trading Paolo Banchero, so I can't really answer that question. I may not be a fan of him stopping the ball around and like not swinging it. But I personally, right now, you can't trade Paolo. They just gambled their entire future on the Desmond Bane trade. You have no leverage right now. You cannot blow it up. If you trade a Franz Wagner or a Paolo Banchero, you are just admitting that it didn't work already, and they're not going to admit that. They're not. So, like I said, we do these podcasts for everybody watching. We do these episodes Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, right? So I already talked about the Heat yesterday. I talked about a lot of teams yesterday. We'll be touching on them a little bit in this next segment. But again, if you guys do want me to talk about your team, all you got to do is simply tune in Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. All right. Okay. Let's move on to our final segment of today's episode. There's really not a whole lot I could do today because we only had 2 entertaining games. I mean, none of them are really entertaining at the end of the day. None of them. And then we had, who else? It was the Wizards crushing the Hawks. Yeah, the Hawks ain't for real, bro. Let's move on to our next segment. And to stay in the festive spirit, the Thanksgiving spirit, right? I have a segment called What Are You Thankful For? And the first segment right now, what I'm thankful for is the Eastern Conference in the NBA. I am thankful for the Eastern Conference in the NBA right now. You might wonder why. That's because the Eastern Conference right now is actually competing with the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference right now is 500 with the West. People said that the East sucks. People said that the West is going to blow them out of the water. Well, it turns out they're 500 right now in the West. The East is actually pretty damn good. Who would have thought? It's just the bottom of the East that's absolutely just free, you know? But right now, the Eastern Conference has won the same amount of games that they've lost against the West. So I'm thankful for the Eastern Conference because I got to be honest, the talent that we have right now, it should not go unnoticed, right? Because the Western Conference, we all know, it's Thunder, Nuggets, right? And then you have Lakers, Rockets, and then you have like the Timberwolves, Warriors, right? I think those are like the categories, right? For me, in the East, look at how fun this is, man. You got the Pistons who are on fire, going for their all-time most wins in a row tonight in Boston. You got the Raptors winning 8 straight at the number 2. You got the Miami Heat who are just doing everything. That's so much fun. They just got Tyler Hero back. Khalil Ware over the last 3 games is averaging 20 points and 16 rebounds. Bam Adebayo is going absolutely berserk now that he's back. Big Norm is going crazy. Jaime Jaquez Jr., 6th man of the year. The Miami Heat are a fun team, and they're a great watch, and I highly recommend if you guys have not watched them to give them a watch. So I'm thankful for the Eastern Conference, plain and simple. I'm extremely thankful for the Eastern Conference. Not just that, I only mentioned the 3 up-and-coming teams. How about you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers? They're okay. Look at the New York Knicks. They're all right. Look at the Hawks. Look at the Magic. They're good. And then, yeah, everyone else. So I'm thankful for the Eastern Conference because the Eastern Conference has been talked down on for so many years, and I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. I am here to defend the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I mean, the bottom of the barrel is horrible, but the West ain't that much better. Like, in the West, you have a bunch of spread out garbage, right? In the East, you just have a bunch of tight-knit garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty damn good. Let's move on to our next topic in the what are you thankful for, right? Let's move on. The next thing I'm thankful for are the Dallas Mavericks. What? Jay-Z? What do you mean you're thankful for the Dallas Mavericks? What do you mean? They suck. Well, I'm thankful because now I get to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers some more. I'm thankful for the Dallas Mavericks for trading a generational talent in Luka Doncic. I am not a Lakers fan. You all know I'm a Pistons fan. But I am a basketball fan, number one. Above being a Pistons fan, above being a fan in general, I am a basketball fan. And to see my GOAT be able to actually be a number 2 or number 3 on, right now, a championship contending team is something that I've been waiting for years and years and years. He wanted to be the number 2 in Cleveland. He wanted to be the number 2 in LA. And now he's finally got the opportunity to be a number 2, number 3. And he seems more than content with it. I am so thankful for the Dallas Mavericks this Thanksgiving for allowing LeBron James in the twilight of his career to still have one more shot. And not just that, to train arguably one of the greatest basketball players in the entire world in Luka Doncic. And Austin Reeves has been absolutely lights out. I got to give him his flowers. Gotta give him his flowers. Austin Reeves has just been absolutely lights out, averaging 29 points per game next to Luka Doncic, who's averaging 35 points per game. So shout out Nico. Shout out the Dallas Mavericks. I am thankful for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, obviously, I can say something like along the lines of, well, their defense is horrible. I could say something along the lines of, well, they can't get rebounds. In a 7-game series, I don't see the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't see them beating the Denver Nuggets, right? They don't play defense. They don't get rebounds. And against the two teams that get rebounds and play defense, I feel like you're sort of stuck there. In a 7-game series, I don't think that no defense can beat that. But what I will say is in the entire NBA, in the entire league, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say the team that nobody wants to verse in the playoffs are the Los Angeles Lakers. Nobody would want to verse this team because on the other side, you have a maniac in Luka Doncic. You have LeBron James. You have Austin Reeves. I would not want to play this team in the playoffs unless my name was the Oklahoma City Thunder. My homie Stun, who's a Thunder fan, in the Twitch stream, came in and said, I'm really starting to believe the conspiracy. The NBA was behind that trade. Can't have an irrelevant Lakers team with LeBron on his way out. So Stun, according to your logic, the NBA, Adam Silver tore Kyrie Irving's ACL in a ploy to get Cooper Flack to get drafted number 1 to the Dallas Mavericks, correct? Let me move on. Another thing I am thankful for is King Tough. Shout out to King Tough for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you very, very much. And now you're telling me that it was a hit. The ACL is a non-contact injury. So non-contact injury. What else am I thankful for? Another thing I'm thankful for, and this might surprise some of my audience members here. I am thankful for the New York Knicks. Now, why the hell would I be that? Why would I be thankful for the New York Knicks? Why? Why, of all teams, somebody that I just strongly dislike, why would I be thankful for the New York Knicks? It's quite simple. A certain somebody is averaging 27 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal and a half, a block for the Detroit Pistons because of the New York Knicks. And that is my glorious king, my pride and my joy, Cade Parker Cunningham. The New York Knicks, I am thankful for them because last year they showed Cade the level of defense that teams are going to play him from here on out for the rest of his career until he has a primary ball or secondary ball handler in a Jaden Ivey now that is back and recovering and getting conditioned. This is how teams are going to be playing Cade Cunningham. In case you're unsure of what I'm referring to, every time Cade gets a screen at the top of the key, he gets hard blitzed and hard hedged by both opposing defenders. So Cade was forced to throw turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover against the New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs last year. Now, in every single game this season that the Pistons have played, and every single game that Cade has played, he gets doubled and hard hedged and hard blitzed at the top of the key over and over and over again. And now, all of a sudden, Cade Cunningham's turnovers are down. In fact, they're so down, he is number 1 in the entire NBA at usage percentage with the lowest turnovers rate in the entire NBA. Cade Parker Cunningham. So this Thanksgiving, am thankful for the New York Knicks for showing what Cade, my glorious king, my pride and joy, the reason why I wake up in the morning, as my fiance is listening to this podcast. Cade Cunningham, I am thankful for the New York Knicks for turning my GOAT into truly one of the GOATs. Now, I'd like to take a time out and say thank you to Liam, my homie Liam, who donated on TikTok and now came to the Twitch stream. Liam, thank you for the big follow on Twitch. He also came in and said, yo, I just came over from TikTok. I'm thankful for Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, and Micah Peavy for making my team have some type of life and energy. Hopefully we can get Zion out of your city and start fresh, Liam, because Derek Queen has been a sight to see. Jeremiah Fears has been incredible. Shout out the Pelicans. I hope they can get good without Zion being on that roster. So this Thanksgiving, I am thankful for the New York Knicks for turning my sweet, glorious prince into one of the greatest players in the NBA right now. Thank you, New York. I appreciate it very much. Do I have another thing I'm thankful for or no? Yes. The last thing I'm thankful for, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on Twitch, you would see the Sports Center type thing swipe onto the screen. That's why I think you guys should go to the Twitch stream. You get the premium experience. Another thing I'm thankful for is you. That's right. You. Everyone watching in the Twitch stream. Everyone watching in the YouTube stream. Everyone watching in the Twitch stream. All the podcast listeners that are listening after the fact on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. I am thankful for you. So I appreciate everyone always tuning in Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And if you want to tune into more of these streams, be sure, and you want to get involved in some of the conversation that we have around here, the Twitch stream is the place that you want to be. All right. And that is going to conclude today's episode. Now, I don't know if we're going to be here doing an episode tomorrow, but if the Pistons win, y'all know you'll see me. I am never going to miss out on an excuse for playing the Pistons one again. All right. I'd like to give another special shout out to homie Frankie for coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, we'll be back tomorrow morning for Thanksgiving. Hopefully. Until then, y'all, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for another episode. All right.